Hello there. I'm so glad you've joined me today. We're going to spend some time together talking about something that is likely on your mind. Or perhaps it's a conversation you've been having around the kitchen table lately. It's one of those big life questions that doesn't have a simple yes or no answer, especially as we move into this new, beautiful chapter of our lives. That question is, should you continue to own your home, or is it time to consider renting? Now, I know that for many of us, the idea of owning a home has been the cornerstone of the American dream for decades. We worked hard for it. We raised families in these houses. We've painted the walls, fixed the leaks, and seen the neighborhood change through the years. But as the years pass, our needs change. Our priorities shift. What felt like a perfect sanctuary 30 years ago might feel a little different today. Maybe the stairs feel a bit steeper, or the yard feels a bit larger than it used to. Today, we aren't going to rush through this. We are going to sit down, take a deep breath, and look at the real, honest pros and cons of renting versus owning after the age of 55, 60, or 70. This is your time, and you deserve to feel confident and peaceful about where you lay your head at night. In the next 40 minutes or so, we are going to peel back the layers of this decision. This isn't just about numbers on a balance sheet, although the numbers are very important. It's about your lifestyle. It's about your freedom. It's about your peace of mind. Many people our age feel a lot of pressure from society, or even from their own children, to stay in their family home forever. Others feel a different kind of pressure to sell everything and move into a managed community. We're going to talk about why this decision is so much more critical once you pass that 55-year mark. When we were younger, we looked at a home as an investment, a way to build wealth. But now, we have to look at a home as a place of service. Does the home serve you, or are you serving the home? That is the fundamental question we'll be exploring today. We will look at the common mistakes that many seniors make, mistakes that can unfortunately lead to unnecessary stress or financial strain later on. For instance, many of us underestimate the hidden costs of staying put. We'll also talk about the psychological shift of moving from being a homeowner to a tenant, and why that word tenant shouldn't be a scary one. It can actually be a word that defines a new kind of liberty. I want you to stay with me until the very end, because we've structured this video to cover everything from the basic logistics to the deep emotional aspects of leaving a long-time home. By the time we finish, you'll have a much clearer picture of what your next 5, 10, or 20 years could look like. You'll have the tools to make a decision based on facts and your own personal happiness, not on what you think you should do. Let's take this journey slowly. There's no rush here. We are going to cover the basics, the mistakes to avoid, real-life scenarios, and practical steps you can take today. This is about making sure your golden years are truly golden, filled with comfort and free from the weight of what-ifs. The fundamental concepts. To start, let's talk about what it really means to own versus rent at this stage of life. When we talk about owning, we often think about equity and the pride of ownership. For most of us, our home is our largest asset. It's a forced savings account that has grown over the decades. Owning gives you control. You can paint the kitchen any color you like. You can plant a rose garden. You don't have a landlord who can tell you that you have to move. However, owning also means you are the chief maintenance officer. If the water heater bursts at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, that's your problem to solve. If the property taxes in your county go up, which they often do, your monthly expenses go up, even if your mortgage is paid off. Owning a home is a commitment of time, energy, and money that never truly ends. Now, let's look at renting. For many seniors, renting feels like a step backward. But I want to encourage you to look at it through a different lens. Renting is essentially outsourcing your stress. When you rent, your monthly housing cost is often much more predictable. You pay your rent, and in most cases, that includes your maintenance, your property taxes, and sometimes even your utilities. If the roof leaks in a rental, you don't call a contractor and write a $10,000 check. You call the landlord, and they handle it. This shift from owner to renter is a shift from responsibility to convenience. For many, this is the ultimate luxury in retirement, the luxury of not having to worry about the bones of the building you live in. It's also important to think about mobility. Owning a home makes you landlocked. If you decide you want to move closer to your grandchildren in another state, selling a home can take months of preparation, repairs, and waiting for the right buyer. Renting, on the other hand, gives you the flexibility to change your mind. If you decide you'd rather live by the coast or in a warmer climate, you simply wait for your lease to end and move on. We have to remember that our physical needs may change. A house with 3 bedrooms and a basement was wonderful when the kids were home. But now, those extra rooms might just be spaces that need to be heated, cooled, and cleaned. Renting often allows you to downsize into a space that is designed for your current life. Single-level living, wider doorways, and manageable spaces that don't exhaust you. Common mistakes to avoid. As we consider these options, I want to talk about some of the common mistakes I've seen people make. These aren't failures. They are just things that are easy to overlook when we are emotionally attached to our homes. The first big mistake is what I call the paid-off house trap. Many seniors believe that because their mortgage is paid off, they are living for free. But as we know, no house is truly free. You still have property insurance, which has been rising significantly across the country. You have property taxes, which rarely go down. And you have the phantom costs of maintenance. Experts say you should set aside 1% of your home's value every year for repairs. On a $400,000 home, that's $4,000 a year, or over $300 a month, just for things that might break. When you factor all that in, owning might be more expensive than you think. Another mistake is ignoring the opportunity cost of your equity. If you have $500,000 tied up in your home's walls, that money isn't working for you. It isn't generating interest or dividends to help pay for your daily life. For some, selling the home and investing that money, while using a portion of it to pay rent, actually results in more monthly cash flow and a higher standard of living. We also see people wait too long to make a move. This is a very common and very human mistake. We want to stay in our homes as long as possible. But waiting until a health crisis forces a move means you lose your power of choice. When you are in a hurry because you can no longer manage the stairs, you might settle for a rental or a home that isn't ideal. Making the choice while you are healthy and active allows you to find the perfect place on your own terms. A fourth mistake is overestimating how much your home is worth or how easy it will be to sell. We often remember what the neighbor's house sold for 3 years ago, but markets change. Relying too heavily on a specific nest egg from your home sale without a backup plan can lead to a lot of anxiety. It's always better to be conservative with your estimates. Lastly, many people forget to account for the social aspect. Owning a large home in a neighborhood where all your old friends have moved away can be isolating. Sometimes, moving into a high-quality rental community or a 55-plus development can provide a social life that staying in the old family home simply can't offer. Isolation is a major health risk for seniors, and our housing choice plays a huge role in how often we interact with others. Real-life situations. Let's talk about how this looks in the real world. Think about a couple we'll call Robert and Linda. They lived in their 4-bedroom home for 35 years. They loved it. But Robert started having trouble with his knees, and the laundry was in the basement. Linda found herself spending every weekend weeding a yard that was simply too big. They realized they were spending all their fun money on a new roof and a new HVAC system. When they looked at the numbers, they realized that by selling their home, they could move into a beautiful two-bedroom luxury apartment nearby. This apartment had an elevator, a walk-in shower, and, most importantly, a maintenance crew. Now, when a light bulb in the high ceiling needs changing, Robert doesn't get on a ladder. He makes a phone call. They have more money in the bank from their home sale, and they spend their winters in a warmer climate without worrying about their pipes freezing back home. On the other hand, consider Mary. Mary is a widow who owns a small one-story bungalow. Her taxes are low, her neighborhood is safe, and her best friend lives next door. For Mary, owning is the right choice. Her home is manageable, it provides her with a sense of security, and she has a local handyman she trusts. For her, the pride of ownership and the stability of her fixed housing costs, since her mortgage is gone, outweigh the benefits of renting. These stories show us that there is no one-size-fits-all. Your situation depends on your health, your local real estate market, and your proximity to family. If you live in an area where rent is skyrocketing, owning might be your best defense against inflation. But if you live in an area where property taxes are out of control, renting might be your escape hatch. I often hear from seniors who say, "I don't want to throw my money away on rent." But I want you to reconsider that phrase. You aren't throwing money away. You are purchasing a service. You are purchasing freedom from chores. You are purchasing the ability to walk away from a property if the neighborhood changes, or if you need to be closer to a hospital or your children. Money spent on rent is money spent on your quality of life and your time. And at this stage of our lives, time is our most precious commodity. Practical steps to take. So, how do you actually decide? What are the steps you should take right now? The first step is to do a true cost analysis of your current home. Sit down with your bank statements from the last 2 years. Don't just look at the mortgage. Look at the insurance, the taxes, the lawn care, the gutter cleaning, the pest control, and all those trips to the hardware store. Add it all up and divide by 24 to get your true monthly cost. You might be surprised by the number. The second step is to research the rental market in the area where you want to live. Don't just look at the price. Look at what is included. Does the rent include water, trash, or cable? Is there a fitness center or a community room? Is there a security gate? Knowing the real market rates will help you compare apples to apples when you look at your true cost of owning. The third step is a physical audit of your home. Be honest with yourself. How many rooms do you actually use every day? If you are only using the kitchen, the bedroom, and the living room, you are paying to maintain and heat a lot of dead space. Also, look at the safety of your home. Are there stairs? Is the bathtub high and hard to get into? Would it cost a lot of money to renovate your home for aging in place? If the renovation costs are high, that money might be better spent on a rental that is already senior-friendly. Step 4 is to talk to your family. But remember, the final decision is yours. Sometimes our children want us to stay in the family home because of their own nostalgia. Or they might want us to sell because they worry about us. Listen to their concerns, but make sure the choice aligns with your daily happiness and your financial security. Step 5. Try it out. If you are leaning toward renting, you don't have to sell your home immediately if you have the means. Some people choose to rent out their family home for a year while they live in a rental apartment. This trial run allows you to see if you actually enjoy the lifestyle without making an irreversible decision. Finally, consult with a financial advisor who specializes in senior issues. They can help you look at the tax implications of selling your home and how the proceeds could be used to fund your retirement. There are often capital gains tax exemptions for the sale of a primary residence, and you want to make sure you take full advantage of those. Handling the emotions and complexity. I know that for many of you, this conversation brings up a bit of anxiety. It's completely normal to feel a sense of loss when thinking about leaving a home. You might be worried about where all your stuff will go. We've spent a lifetime collecting memories, and those memories are often tied to physical objects. But I want to offer you some comfort. A home is just a container for your life. The memories aren't in the walls. They are in you. When you downsize, whether to a smaller owned home or a rental, you aren't losing your past. You are making room for your future. You are clearing out the physical and mental clutter so you can focus on what truly matters: your health, your relationships, and your hobbies. If you are feeling overwhelmed by the idea of moving, take it one small step at a time. You don't have to pack the whole house today. Just start with one drawer, then one closet. As you let go of things you no longer need, you might find that you feel lighter and more prepared for the next adventure. There is also a great peace that comes with knowing you have a plan. Anxiety often comes from uncertainty. By watching this video and thinking through these steps, you are already ahead of the curve. You are taking control of your situation instead of letting the situation control you. Remember, you have navigated many transitions in your life. You've had careers, raised children, moved house before, and faced challenges. You have the wisdom and the resilience to make this choice too. Whether you decide to stay and age in place or move to a rental that offers more freedom, you are making the choice that is right for this version of you. Be kind to yourself during this process. It's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to feel excited. Sometimes we feel both at the same time. That's just a sign that you've lived a full and meaningful life in your home. Now, you are simply preparing the ground for the next chapter of that full and meaningful life. To help you through this process, I've put together something special for you. It's a professional PDF checklist titled The Senior Housing Decision Guide. This isn't a sales pitch. It's a free resource I created specifically for Americans over 55 who are grappling with this exact question. This checklist will help you organize your thoughts. It includes a section for calculating your true cost of ownership, a list of questions to ask potential landlords, and a simple worksheet to help you weigh the emotional pros and cons. It's designed to be printed out so you can take your time with it, perhaps over a cup of tea, and really look at your situation clearly. I want you to have this because I know how much it helps to have everything down on paper. It takes the ideas out of your head and puts them into a format you can actually work with. You can find the link to download this free checklist in the description of this video, right below the like button. It's completely free, and it's my way of saying thank you for spending your time with me today. Take advantage of these professional resources. You don't have to do this alone. Having a structured way to look at your finances and your lifestyle can take a lot of the weight off your shoulders. Again, you can find that link in the description. Just click it, save the PDF, and use it whenever you feel ready. Frequently asked questions. Before we wrap up, let's go through a few questions that I hear most often from seniors considering this move. First, will renting make me feel less at home? The answer is, it depends on how you approach it. Many rental communities today allow you to paint walls or make small changes to make the space yours. Once your own furniture and photos are in place, most people find they feel at home much faster than they expected, especially once they realize they no longer have to worry about the lawn. Second, what if my rent goes up every year? This is a valid concern. When you rent, you are subject to the market. However, many seniors choose senior living apartments that have more stable rent increases, or they use the interest from their home sale to cover any increases. This is why the true cost calculation we talked about is so important. Third, what about my pets? This is a big one. Most modern rentals, especially those geared toward our age group, are very pet-friendly. They know that our furry friends are part of the family. Always ask about pet policies early in your search. Fourth, is it better to sell now or wait for a better market? No one can predict the future of the real estate market. But generally, if you are moving from a large home to a smaller rental, your quality of life today is more important than a potential small increase in home value 2 years from now. If you are ready for the change, the best time is usually now. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts. Deciding whether to rent or own is not just a financial decision. It's a decision about how you want to spend your days. Do you want to spend them on a ladder cleaning gutters? Or do you want to spend them traveling, visiting family, or enjoying a hobby you never had time for before? There is no wrong answer here, as long as the answer is yours. If your home brings you joy and you can manage it safely, then staying may be your best path. But if your home has become a source of stress or physical strain, please know that there is no shame in renting. In fact, for many, it is the smartest and most liberating move they ever made. I hope this long, quiet look at the options has given you some peace and clarity. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only, and you should always check with a professional financial advisor or real estate expert if you need personal advice tailored to your specific situation. Take your time, talk to those you love, and most importantly, listen to your own heart. You've earned the right to live comfortably and peacefully. Thank you for staying with me today. It has been a pleasure to share this time with you. Take care of yourself, and I wish you all the best in whatever path you choose.